Hey there YouTube, JRJuggernaut1 here. I'm going to be doing a video of my Elemental Hero deck that I've been running for the past few weeks. I stopped playing wind-ups just because I'm really not a fan of the deck anymore, and I feel like the deck is... I just want to make some money off it before ultimately the deck just kind of loses its favor in the TCG like it already has in the OCG. The deck's still very much playable. I kind of just saw that I was liking heroes more. I could only have fun with windups for so long, so I'm kind of glad I'm making the switch. And I'm just kind of excited to keep playing this deck until probably, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to play next. I don't know how long I'm going to be playing this deck for, but nonetheless, I'm happy to finally play it. Oh, Super Gemini Spark will be a nice addition to this deck if I get the chance. If people are valuing it really high, I'm just not going to bother, but it is nice that Konami is finally printing that as a holo. Okay, so in terms of what's been going on, well, Nationals doesn't look like I'm going to be going unless I get my invite to the next regional, which will be post-Tachyon Galaxy. Well, it will be after the release of Tachyon Galaxy, so we'll see how that goes. First, I'm going to have to figure out what deck I'm going to play and how the meta is going to shape up at that point. Secondly, I'm not going to be able to go to YCS New Jersey just because I'm going to be on vacation, and that's a big reason why I haven't had any videos going up in the past like month and a half. Just mostly a lack of interest, not really much to talk about. That may change, but for now I'm just going to kind of have a video up on occasion, whenever I feel like it. At some point I am going to post a video up with some of the decks that I've been testing on DN, just to kind of show you guys what I've been testing and what's been working, what hasn't. So yeah, now I'll move on to the hero deck. The hero deck is pretty standard, but it's changed since the beginning of last format when I was playing it. I really like this build, I'm not going to lie. It's been fun, it's been versatile, it's been doing pretty much everything I wanted to do, but there was something I decided to change in it to make it better. Mainly like the 2 cards in particular that I added. So I think that's really making a difference, and I'm going to be running this at my locals tomorrow, and I'm going to see if I can do better. Last week I just scrubbed out pretty much. I lost in the last round to Dark. My big losses were to Hieratics by this kid who just OTKs everyone and sacks everyone with the deck. So it's a pain to lose to him. He actually top 8 at a regional within a Kings Games a couple weeks back, so that was really annoying. And I'm just like really hoping I can. I just really hated to lose to him, and then I lost to Dark World. And my first loss, I lost to my friend Raph playing Gravekeepers. I actually lost to him in time, which was a bummer. So, yeah, stuff happens. So yeah, let's get to the hero deck. So we're playing the basic hero engine of 1 Stratos, triple Alias, and the 1 Bubble Man, which I was really liking at the beginning of last format as just a one-of because it's searchable off Stratos, and it does allow for some pretty awesome combos. I still stand by saying that Bubble Man is a terrible card in multiples. I never liked this card in multiples, and that's pretty much always how it's going to be. I'd rather have a 1900 monster that stands alone on its own rather than this monster that can allow for explosive plays but really sucks on its own. So I play 2 Photon Thrasher. I really love this card. This card is very powerful. It allows for a lot of awesome plays. It lets me go Alias, try to spark something, and if they have response by normal summon, I can special summon it, or it can bait out their back row first. It's that kind of versatility that I think makes this a very good card. 2 Thunder King, because what would heroes be without Thunder King? I mean, seriously, this card is awesome. It's only going to get better once Tachyon Galaxy is out. 1 Crusader of Endymion. Yes, I'm playing this finally over Evocator Chevalier, which is something I haven't done like ever, but that's because now I'm actually playing Honest. I changed my perspective on Honest. In spite of the fact that I also play 1 Bubble Man, I really like Honest. I really like the fact that in many cases this card can win me games that I do not deserve to win, or it can be a great way of dealing with cards that I in many cases have trouble getting around. So Honest is just a very strong card, and I know it can conflict with Bubble Man, but at the same time, it's pretty easy to get this out of your hand. So I've never had it be that much of a problem. For spells, we're playing the Trinity. As you guys know, for a while, I was very against playing Heavy Storm in Heroes, for the simple fact that you always played a lot of back row. Oh, sorry about that. But the more I'm testing this, the more I'm finding that you're not always going to have a ton of back row, and this card really does win games on its own. So I'm really glad that I play it for that reason. The Rhoda, the Lone Rhoda, I suppose. The the double E-Call, very standard. Double Duality, very standard as well. Double MST, I have been very strong. I strongly feel that even if you have to play a few less back row, I think it's worth it to play your MSTs. Just because with Tenki, all sorts of back row, it just makes side decking a lot easier, and just having them in the main deck just really does a lot. So that's how I feel about it right now. 3 Miracle Fusion. 3 Gemini Spark, probably my favorite spell card in the deck, next to Miracle Fusion. And the last 2 cards are my proxies, but I will have these in real life very shortly. It's 2 Shard of Greed. I'm kind of going to get some crap for playing this card, but honestly, I am really advocating this card right now. Or maybe just in general. I just do not like hard card D in this deck. I know some people really think that card is great. I never liked it, and not because I can't afford it, but because it just, to me, I like drawing hard car late game, but there are various situations where I hate having hard car in hand, because heroes to me are a deck that you're either going to have an explosive hand of a lot of plays you can make, or you're going to have nothing. Card car is great when you have nothing, but you're not going to have a situation where you'd rather just play card car than go aggressive. I like the option. I like them. With heroes, you're usually playing pretty aggressively. Yes, you can play rather conservatively, but I'd still rather try to beat down my opponent than attempt to draw 2 cards, even if it forces out their back row. So I think Shard's good for that, because it lets me draw. I can grind it out to make sure I don't die before Shard goes off because of all the back row and various cards I play. And on top of that, it can work at relatively any point of the game without forcing me to give up my turn. So, yeah. For the traps, I play 2 Torrential, 2 Dimensional Prison, 2 Mirror Force, Double Bottomless, and then the last 3 traps, the Solemn Duo as it's called, and Starlight Road. You're going to notice I am not playing Compulsory, a card I have really liked in Heroes at various points. I'm not playing it just for the fact that the top decks right now are Mermail and Fire Fist. Fire Fists are even though both decks exceed somewhat often, both decks are relatively unaffected by Compulse. Mermails do, Gaios is a problematic card, but against this deck, it's pretty easy to get around it, because, Shining's big, and if you're really desperate, you can just make Great Tornado, which will suicide with it. What else? Oh, and yeah, just they're most of the time going to pop your Compulsory before they Xyz summon anyway, so I rarely ever find it to be worth it. For the extra deck, let's go through the Xyz monsters first. Black Ship of Corn, Paladynamo. This card is a very, very excellent addition to the deck. Blade Armor, Excalibur, Maestroke. I still like this card. Dweller. You really do need to play this card, even if you're not playing Bubble Man like I am, because just the fact that you really want this for the Mermail matchup. Utopia. Kind of important because you can make Utopia, and if you really need to make a big Xyz play next turn, or protect your monsters, Utopia's there. It's just kind of there for a generically good beater. For the fusions, what am I saying? Ab-Zero, Great Tornado, Escort Down, Gaia, Nova Master, and 2 Shinings. And of course, we do play the 1 Stardust Dragon for the Starlight Road. Alright, now I'm going to quickly get to the side deck, because I really don't mind sharing it right now. I don't think I'm going to actually play this deck in a real competitive, like a regional or anything, so I'm not worried. Double Banisher, Sorry, that's for Mermail's Dark World. I don't like Defissure in the side because I don't think it's. I don't like the fact that it's really shuts you down. I like that at least with Banisher, you really have that advantage of being able to kind of play around. You know, it won't permanently hurt you if it stays on the field for a certain amount of time. It's going to kill your opponent, but if they find a way to remove it, it's no longer going to hurt you. So it's kind of the same thing with Fire Fist. Double Snowman. This is mainly for rogue decks, but you know, it's obviously a good card in the mirror match. The third MST. Double Soul Taker. To be honest, you could really side this against a lot of matchups, but I think the matchup I really like this in against the most is Fire Fists. I'm no longer maining. I was maining a Super Poly. Now I'm siding both of them. Against Mermails, this card is ridiculous, as you can imagine, because you make Ab-Zero against them, and they're just pretty much screwed, unless they Big Eye it, but most of the time I'll probably have a back row for that card instead instead of letting it resolve. To Rivalry, I want to keep this card in, but there aren't that many decks that are affected by it. This is primarily for Rabbit. What else? I think it's for Rabbit, Wind-Ups, which I don't seem to ever face. I can't really think of another deck off the top of my head, honestly. Double Soul Drain, Dark World, Mermails, yeah, same shtick. And finally Skill Drain, which this is mainly for Fire Fists and Wind-Ups. You really need this card against Fire Fists. I can't stress that enough. Against Fire Fists, you need this card because even if they play double MST, Lance, you just want to make sure that since Lance is the card you're worried about the most, you just want to make sure that you have a way to not be punished if they have like a combat trick or something for their monsters. So yeah, very important. So that's the deck. Sorry again for the usual shaky cam. Like I said, this is pretty much what I'm gonna run for now. We'll see how long I continue to play this deck. So if you guys want to see, if you guys have any specific requests on a certain type of deck you want me to build, just let me know. Like I said, in the near future, I'll show you guys what I've been working on and testing. So, yeah, enjoy your weekend, guys, and I'm out.